In our previous videos, we bought this crashed 2006 Harley Davidson Lowrider from auction, and you could tell it had been crashed. It was pretty rough all over, heaps of dings and scratches, broken bits. We got the tins stripped off and sent them down for some paint and started looking for more damage. That's when we found this. The gearbox case was busted at the back and needed to be replaced. We got that done in our last video, so let's get cracking on the rest of the work that needs to be done. Alright, so what we're going to do next is address this little bit of flaking on the engine here on the Lowrider. Now, in Australia at least, you cannot get the touch-up aerosol cans anymore in the texture paint. I've got some silver left over from a Softail that I did that had a blonde motor. Now, earlier I took the busted transmission, found a little bit that had where the coating had flaked off, and sprayed some of that silver down, and then hit the top of it with some high heat duplicolor, and I'm pretty happy with the results for what it is. This is a pretty small and inconspicuous area. It's under the air cleaner, it's behind like a chrome cover that'll be shiny, and there's a couple of different sort of surfaces. It's not a big flat area, so I think for what we're going to do here, it'll be fine, it'll blend in, but to access it all, I've got to take all the air cleaner assembly off, and yeah, we'll have a look, and hopefully there's not too much more hiding under there, but let's start tearing it down. Off the front of this cover here. got done, it looks a lot better than when we started. Would I do it to a show bike? No. Is it mint? No. But for the job that it needs to do, it is good. It looks a lot worse in here because of the lighting directly above us, but it's yeah, we've got a cover back on the motor now. It's not bare metal, but yeah, I'm going to leave all of this bare. I'll block up all the breather holes, the air cleaner, but I really want to leave it exposed so I've got good access to everything. So I'll plug everything up now, and then we'll get outside and give it a good spray down. After giving everything a really good clean, I wanted to see how this grubby chrome would respond to just a polish and see if that would bring it back a bit. I've got some Autosol and a rag and just cleaning around the top rocker box here. Doing this out in the sun where it was beaming off the chrome gave me some motivation to keep checking the other bits, and they were all coming up really well. The triple trees were coming up great. I grabbed the 3-inch Milwaukee polisher to get into it a bit more aggressively than just by hand. The fork blowers, they're going to need a little bit more work than just a polish, but that's fine. I've got a plan for them. Everything else was coming up really well. So, yeah, I was happy with that. Now we've got some polishing to do. So Lowrider's been outside for a wash. Covered up the important parts. We started giving everything a bit of a polish and putting it back together, and it's coming up a lot better than what I sort of expected, which is really, really good. Still got a few covers to polish, and then I'm going to pull the front end apart and start polishing all of that. But yeah, I'll finish polishing all these covers first, and we'll see how they turn out. Now, I watch a bit of YouTube content myself, and when it comes to automotive and motorbike videos, the ones that I can't stand are the endless sanding and the endless polishing videos. Yes, it's essential work that needs to be done if you want a great end result, but it makes the most boring viewing. So I'm just going to show you some quick before and afters here. That's me using a polisher. That's everything looking good. I polished the gearbox top and side covers, the cam chest cover, the outer primary, the coil, and the rocker box tops. That derby cover will be replaced down the track. I also polished that shifter arm. Now this front end, that's going to need a little bit more work than just a quick polish. We're going to have to whip that out. So we'll get cracking on that now. I'm using a small piece of brass rod here to knock out these dust caps. It's pretty soft, a lot softer than the dust caps are, so it won't leave a mark on them. Now I'm just removing all of the reflectors and other little bits and pieces off the lowers so I can really polish them up. You can see the difference here between one that I've polished and one that I haven't. I started out with a 400 grit, then went 600, 800, 1000, 2000 and 4000 before giving them a polish with Autosol. I think the results speak for themselves there. Now that they're polished up, we'll get them out of the bike and continue ripping down this front end. This is one of my favourite ways to clean the rust off of your chrome parts. Now, it's not going to give you a show finish, but for something that isn't a show bike, this works really well. What you're going to need is some kitchen foil, some cola. You're going to dip the foil in the cola, make sure it's wet, and essentially wet rub your parts. Now, as I said, it's not going to give you a show finish. There will still be pitting because the oxidization has got into the metal. but with a little bit of work, there's the about as good as I'll get it, you know, and that's just sat down for 5 minutes. And as I said, all that pitting and stuff is still there. That won't go away, but all the visible rust and oxidisation is pretty well gone. So if you're doing things on a budget, keep that in mind. Just going to clean up some of the stuff on the inside of this too. There you go. Oh yeah, and don't do it inside your shed over the nice floor, unless you want to clean sticky coke off it. And after getting the dust caps looking as good as I could, I had to go at a couple of stone chips that were in these tubes here. Then it was inside to finish taking off the bent bars and the rest of the front end. After tearing this all down, it was time to do some more mind-numbing polishing. I'm going to save you watching me do that. So here the polished parts are going back together. That's when I got the phone call to say the tins are fixed, they're painted, and they're ready for you to pick them up. So I finished sliding these fork legs in, jumped in the car, headed down to Artini Crash. But to see the results of that one, you have to wait for the next video. Thanks for being patient with me here, guys. It does take a while to put these together, and we'll see you on the next one for the big colour reveal. Cheers.